What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Dr. Clutch here at Clutch Trading, and today I have something extra special for you. As you know, you normally come to my channel to learn all things options trading, from the beginning stuff to the technical stuff to the advanced stuff, but it's the first of the year, and I wanted to do something a little bit special. So this is something that I recorded for my students, and it's just private for them, but I wanted to give it to you guys for free, just so that you guys could experience exactly what it's like to be a part of our Discord group. Link is going to be in the description if you want to join it yourself. It is totally worth it, in my opinion. I'm going to show you a lot of things from the recaps and stuff so that you can see exactly why it's worth it to join the group. But the students get something very extra special. They get a video from me daily where I'm breaking down the watch list that I'm making, showing my exact plan for each trade that I have on the watch list, down to the price targets that I have, the strike prices that I'm going to be picking, and so on. But I wanted to give that to you guys for free as a gift so that we can kick off 2024 in a great fashion, in the season of giving, as I like to say. And without further ado, I want to go ahead and get into that. But first, let me go ahead and share a little bit about the Discord, okay? So that you can get to see exactly what it is that I'm going to be referring to in this video. As you can see, we drop daily watch lists. The watch lists show you exactly what ticker, the direction that I'm choosing, whether it be a call or put, the strike price, the expiration date, the reason, an actual signal that it's on there, entry prices, price targets, and stop losses for the play, all written out for you, all nitty gritty. My brother Jeremy does it as well. At the end, we go ahead and drop a recap that shows exactly what was made. So for the 29th, you can see 110% was made on Roblox, 72% was made on Apple, 89% on Meta, 30% on Walmart. His monthly watch list, 1,500% gains, 2,200%, 1,150% gains. Substantial numbers that can be made just by following. If you see a red play, it means it didn't hit price target one. And look at the sea of green, guys. Look at the sea of green. So just by joining our Discord, you can learn a lot, but you can make a lot just by calling out and going through the trades. This is an entire month rolled up in one, as you can see. Just by following along with trades that we give, you can make a lot of money by doing it. Now, I only am sharing that with you so that the rest of the video makes sense, okay? If you want to join, the link is going to be in the description. Feel free to click it and join up. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this video. It's going to be breaking down my yearly, my quarterly, my monthly, my weekly, and my daily watch list, all going into 2024. So it's giving you insight into my personal brain and exactly what I'm thinking for each play. Please check it out. Let me know what you think. If you learn anything from this, please hit like, subscribe so that you can see the next things coming out. I have big things planned for 2024 here on the channel, and we're going to go ahead and head out now. God bless. Enjoy. Congratulations. We made it to 2024. You're better than you were last year already today on the 1st. Without further ado, welcome to Clutch's Corner. Let's get right on into it and see what we got with probably what will be the biggest video of the year. So let's go ahead and scoot all the way to the yearlies. Let's start with the yearlies, okay? Now, when we start with the yearlies, let's go ahead and immediately go to the option chain so we can talk about this. As this is going to be probably where there are a lot of changes from ticker to ticker. And let's discuss. So Amazon, I have the 180. Where are we? 2025, January 17th. Okay, and I have the 180 call right here selected. So normally, if you know me, I'm very much at the money, but here I'm going farther out of the money. But why? What is the reason? Well, it comes down to the Greeks. As always, it's so important to pay attention to your Greeks. So the premium between at the money, right, and the contract that I'm deciding to pick, the 180, is about double the price. So 100% more, which is $1,000 per contract. And all you're getting that's better is $20 difference on your delta. That's it. So every dollar you'll make an extra $20 here versus here. To me, that's not worth an extra $1,000. And by letting this one ride, the 180, if we can get before the final PT, you will be in the money and you will make an extravagant amount of gains from that. Now, this is expensive, but if you're doing yearly swings, it is what it is. You got to pay before those Greeks eat away at it. And here we can see what those Greeks are. Theta 3. Lovely. You're not going to worry about theta for quite a long time. Um, so that's the big difference there is the delta and the price of the contract. So with that being said, obviously everybody here knows what a 2-2 rev is. Got your original PT stop loss entry, but we have some other PTs in between. Obviously here and here are going to be pivotal points because they were highs of those years that Amazon could be looking to go up and retest. Now, coming down into the quarterly price targets, you can see that there's one right here, one right here, right? We touch these two on the 3-month time frame. And then zooming into the 1-month time frame, we find that very first one off of this one, right? Because we see that we have a lot of sideways through here, and that's probably going to start when we get up to this. We might start getting choppy once we get up to this one, and then that's where all this price action is all going through month after month after month. It all goes through here. So we're going to go test that out again before we keep going to these other price targets that even on a monthly chart, you can see how this one taps it here, here, here. Very important. Here we get a double tap on it, right? And here we almost get a triple tap, but if you come over this way, you can see that it taps it a bunch. So these PTs are going to be found on the monthly, 3-month, and of course the yearly time frames. And that is Amazon. So Amazon, all good. Let's go to coin. Coin. Now, coin, sorry, coins are very expensive, but hey, a chart's a chart, right? If you got it, you got it. If you don't, it's okay. This one may not be for you. There are others to pick from. Coin 290 is what I'm suggesting, which is way off in the out of the money range. But again, why? Right? Well, 187, the at the money. So let's say the 190 is what it would be is 5,100, basically $200 for the contract. You get a 64-cent delta, 8-cent theta. Or you can get the 290, pay 29.75, 8-cent theta, 43-cent delta. To me, the delta makes sense to purchase down here because 41 cents is a great fucking delta. That's a substantial amount per dollar move. If that was on a daily candle that we were trading and when it was 41 cents every dollar a move, we'd love it. So think of it as it's only a $20 difference that you're making between them. And that's why I'm suggesting for these yearlies to go farther out of the money because the Greeks support it. That's what you need to take away from it is that the Greeks support that. All right, so now let's go ahead and go to the 3-month chart. We can see right in here and right in here where these PTs are going to come from, but we got to zoom in and see what's going on in between here, especially because there's choppiness here on the lower side. Every time it comes down here, it kind of bounces up. So what's going to happen when we come back up to this area? Well, let's go ahead and look at the monthly candles. And the monthly candles give us a little bit better of an indication of where that fight is. Now, if we look, this is very funny. Look right in here, right? And look at what it's bouncing off of over here. And now look at what it can't get above here, right? It's the same little area right in here, right? That's the problem, which just so happens to be right in between these two PTs. So that is why we could potentially be seeing these as early ones. And they're a little close together. But if we can make it past that, I do see us coming up and testing this, reaching up and testing beyond that. And heck, you might, I mean, I doubt it. I truly do doubt it. But you might end up seeing something crazy. I need to move the Zoom thing. See something crazy like all the way out there. But I'm just being honest with you. I don't think that we're going to see it go that crazy. But hey, what the fuck? Hey, who knows? Price action is price action. It very well could. All right, let's move on to XOM. XOM with some puts. All right, XOM 75 is what I suggested for the puts. Let's go over the Y. Okay, 61 is the farthest out of the money, which would be like over here. So 65, 60. The delta is shit. $5? You're gonna give me $5 every time it moves a dollar? Get out of here, right? Oh, you'll give me $9. Get out of here, right? At the 75, $12. Now I'll have a conversation with you. I'll have a conversation with you over $12 a dollar move, but I'm not gonna have a conversation with you over $5 a dollar move, right? Price, I like the price. I like the spreads, very important. And it's low enough that potentially would be easier for everybody to afford. Theta, 1 penny. We love that. $1 a day is what it'll cost to swing this. And if it goes on and gets to be in the money, which would be right around here, so it's not even the final PT, but in between the third and fourth, right over here, if you get in the money, substantial payday. Substantial payday. So this is what I was saying. It's a little different for each one, right? It always comes down to the Greeks. So right in here, I think that this is worth it. And why 12? Well, because if it goes the wrong way on me a dollar, it's only going to lose $12. So not that big of a deal, right? Not that big of a deal. So I do like XOM. On the yearly, let's go ahead and check out the price targets starting from the quarterly time frames. We have the bottom of this 2, the bottom of this 1, the bottom of this 2. Now there is some in betweens as well. By going into the monthly, we can see right in here and right in here where there's some wicks. Now we do have some classic steps here, right? So that's why we're just following along with this. But right in here is definitely going to be something that we need to pay attention to, because we can see that it was coming down here, ended here, right? And then the first day of the month started all the way up here and just right. So what is there? Probably an algorithm, right? Something that I will be aware of rather than not aware of. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and close off the yearlies with QCOM. Right now in my brain, I just wondered if I had pressed the record button. Why is my Q button not working? It's my Q and my R button. Sometimes those just stop working on me, and I don't know why. It drives me insane. QCOM. All right, so QCOM classic 3 turned into a failed 2. Rev strat, we're looking at a potential breaking of the 2 coming and testing at the top of that broadening formation that this 3 did create on the yearly time frame. Now QCOM, I'm suggesting the 190 right in here. Spreads 25 cents. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it on something like this. Okay. Delta 25 versus, okay, versus getting it somewhere like at the money, almost $2,000 and $54 delta. So give me the 24, right? $20 difference right around there. It's just a $20. Don't look at it as like it's half. Just look at it as a $20 difference. And your theta is actually better. It's 2 here versus 3 here. Better theta and a lot cheaper. So I like that. I like that with QCOM. On the call side, let's go ahead and go to the 3-month chart, the quarterlies, to find out where some PTs are. Now, obviously, we have the high of the year. We have the high of this 3 here, which, as we can tell by this giant wick, that, yeah, something's there to pay attention to. So I wanted to zoom in and see, is there anything right before that that I might need to be aware of? So I went to the monthly, and sure enough, bam, this one right here where it tried and failed all over again. It tried to go back up and then said, no, done. So we're going to come test this out. Then this, if we can break these two, we'll come test this out. And then beyond. Now, yes, in between this, I even went into the weekly. And looking at the weekly, we can see that there's a lot of chop once we get up this high. A lot of chop. So right here is where that's going to all come to a test. We might not make it to the final PT. This could be where we actually get are hard bounce back to the downside. And the stock market's forever push and pull system, and that's why we trade options. All right. So there is that yearly charts. Everybody, yearly charts. Yeah. There's so many strike prices that I'm going through these. Like I have my watch list pulled up and I'm like going through each strike price with you guys, breaking it down as we go. And also because there's so many things up here, I don't remember which one's which. So this tells I can see now the AAL, and I know that this is the symbol for AAL. Boom, that's the beginning of the quarterlies. That's the monthly. Yep, perfect. So we're in the right spot. Nice little 3-2-2 rev forming here. Remember when it's a 3-2-2, it's the 3, it's the 2, and then the next candle is going to be the 2 that potentially takes out these PTs off of the rev strat, being is that the 3 creates a broadening formation that this is now rejecting off of, staying above here, and could potentially be going up and beyond. Let's go ahead and check out AAL's quarterlies. Now, this came down to May. There we go, May 17th. Now, the reason why this one's a little different from the others is because there is no 90-day contract for it. So 74 days is smaller than the quarter would be. So I can't do that. That would be like swinging a monthly contract with 2 weeks expirations on it, right? At the first of the month. You need the time to let it play out. And so that is why May 17th is what I'm deciding for this one. And 19 is what I'm selecting for the strike price. Now, the reason why is because 19 is a very small amount of money. And because these smaller tickers, if you traded them before, can be a little for some people's taste, this is not a lot of money to invest in it. You get 5 of these and you'll be fine. And if you sit on it for the quarter and it goes up and it does take out these PTs and it gets to be at the money, that 19, we hit that final PT and you're at the money, 12 to 189 for a potential. I like that. I like the risk to the reward on that. Versus if I was to get it at the money, 91. I'm not gonna lie, part of me wants to do that too, because then when you get farther in the money, let's say we hit 19, geez, it's gonna be all the way up here. Now it's like 91 to 510. So look, when it comes to these, do what you want, right? I am selecting this one. The delta is not that bad. However, in comparison to like how much of a chunk it's going to take out, if this one takes out 12 out of the 19, and then over here, this one's taking out 43 of the 91, kind of feels the same to me, right? Versus, but this one's 40 or $43 that I could be losing, or $12 that I could be losing per contract. So this one just comes down to the risk to reward for the contracts in it being one of these smaller cap tickers. I do like both though, to be completely honest. I like both, but I when it comes to the trade, I'm probably going to be getting the $19 one. All right. So after the 3 month, we zoom into the monthly, right? And I don't like that this is here, but it is, right? I'm not going to put this as a PT freaking 12 cents away on a monthly price target, but I can't ignore this one. I just can't. If we break this, then we can come up and test this, the top of this too, and this. So this is very easy. This is just steps with like another step kind of on the other side of it. If you've been watching these videos, you know exactly what I mean by the steps, and this that makes sense to you. If not, let me know. Let me know. Hey, Dylan, I don't know what the fuck you mean by the steps. Next time you make a video, can you please explain it? And I will. But this is already going to be a very long video, so we'll keep going. I don't know if you can hear the fireworks blasting off right now, but they are loud. They are loud, and they are beautiful. That's actually why I'm like set up down in my living room right now, is because I was working on some things last night for New Year's. You know, it is what it is. And all these fireworks started going off, but they were all like behind me. And so my office faces the front and I couldn't see them. So I brought everything downstairs. I got big wall of windows right here, and all the fireworks are just lighting everything up all night for me last night. So I just haven't moved back up to my office. Welcome to my living room. All right. So BBY, just want to be all right. BBY 621 is what I selected for this one. And again, it's just because there's not a 3 month one or another one in between that. So I just kind of have to select this one. Um, with that being said, 43. What? No, 8750 is what I'm selecting for this one. Now, there is a daily entry at the same, or a daily stop loss right at the same price as the quarterly entry. So excuse this kind of looking a little bit strange right here, but that's what it is. Boom, there's the daily, and here is the quarterly. So with that being said, 8750 is right in here. The reason why I'm selecting this one is because you will get in the money if it takes out almost the last PT, but it's not a lot of bang for your buck, and the delta is 32 versus getting it at 80 and getting a $50 delta. So again, this comes down to, do you want to pay a couple of $100 per contract extra just to get $20 extra a contract? And to me, that juice is not worth the squeeze, right? As opposed to other things that we'll look at down the line. So for this, for BBY, that is why that is what I suggest. We're going to go to the monthly and see another classic case of steps here for a while. Bing, bang, boop, right? First spot where people, if look, just keep it quick. If people are in puts, if they've been in puts from here, they're probably going to have stop losses here. Once this gets taken out, it's going to either make them do one or two things: sell their contracts and get stopped out, or buy more and defend that position. If we break, we'll come test out this. If we break again, we'll come test out this, where people will probably have their orders. Then we got to zoom in a little bit more into the weeklies to see what's going on in this big area and right in here. And then because there's a big gap in this, I even went to the daily to see what was going on. And think about it. If you were in puts, if you had your stop loss, where would your stop losses be? At the top of the candles, right? So these are going to be very important areas when we get to them for that quarter. Because look at how when we hit here, we just started bleeding. When we come up and test those areas, there's going to be a fight here, and there's going to be a fight here, same way that there's going to be a fight here. Hopefully that makes sense. I believe it does. I believe it does. All right. DAL. DAL with the failed two. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. 43 is what I'm suggesting for this one. And a different date as well, because this has 419 contracts. Boom. 109 days till expiration. So this will fit the 90 day for the 3 months that you need. This fits into that by being just right outside of it. All right. 43 for the call. Bang, right in here. Now, again, this comes down to same thing that we spoke about. Greeks, okay? $41 delta here. That's great delta, as opposed to spending about $100 extra per contract to get a 50. Oh no, it wouldn't 52, 53. Oh no. Okay, listen. This is going to be the next one. When it hits entry, this is going to be the at the money contract. These two will be in the money. This will be at the money at the time. So you'll be getting probably around a 51 or 52 cent delta on it, as opposed to getting the 49, where you'll be getting a 17 cent delta. So the difference there is about $30. $30 per dollar move. And that, to me, the juice is worth the squeeze on something where the premium is going to be about $200. To me, the juice is worth the squeeze on DAL to get the at the money contract at the time. And by the time that we get, to 49 or whatever, or to 50, and it's super far in the money, you're going to make a shitload of money on it. And you're going to get that delta is going to be increasing fatly over time, as opposed to being 49, 49, 49, 17. And just by the time it gets up to here, geez, like you could be getting this. So that's why everything's a little bit different when it comes to this one. So I'm glad that you're watching this. If you're watching this, good for you. You're going far. Now, on to the monthlies. Classic case of the steps here. Cannot ignore this first step right here. I hate that it's so close, but it is what it is. And it's right freaking there. Good thing is, though, entry being 42.70, 43 being the strike price that we're picking, you'll be in the money by the time you hit PT1. And we love that. We love that. Then, like I said, the steps right in here, the next and the next, for where people are potentially going to have their stops. DAL, I got DAL open twice? No. Yeah, wait. How did this happen? BBYs, but this is supposed to be. Okay. Okay, then DAL, then J and J. Now, this failed too. Come on now. This printed well on the last quarterly. Remember, 2122s usually take out all price targets. It did. The last quarterly, it did. This is on my watch list last quarter. And now it's giving the energy that it wants to go back up in the forever roller coaster ride of the stock market, right? It's giving that energy. So entry, stop loss, and predictable, obvious places. Final PT right in here. Let's go into the month and see that we've got a PT here and then some long wicks. So we got to zoom into this bad boy. We got to zoom in and see what's going on, right? We got a PT right here, PT right here, a PT right here, a PT right here. Because look at how this, pay attention how when it's starting to get close to the top or to the bottom of things, a lot of candles will run through those prices. And we're getting close to the top, and all four of these candles went through this price right in here, right? So probably going to be some action in there, probably going to be some algorithms in there on the way back. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and check out contracts for it. J and J. I think I just heard my little girl wake up from her nap. 419 again. 160 is what I'm suggesting. You're buying this one 2 pennies in the money. Ooh, you're buying it at the money. Okay. It's not a big deal. You're gonna be all right. You've never done it before. It's exciting. It's fun stuff. You're buying it right where you want to be. Delta 46, as opposed to buying the 80 or the 75 or the 70 and getting a $20 delta. So again, this is going to come down to about $30 for the delta. So per dollar, we're talking about $30 that you're making or breaking. To me, the juice is worth the squeeze on buying the at the money one, right? The 485 is a hefty price difference comparison, but you have to remember that this is slightly different because these are in $5 intervals. $5 intervals. So the difference between these two is not $1 of a strike price, it's $5 of a strike price. The difference between this and this is not $2 of a strike price, it's $10 of a strike price. So that is significant enough for me to say, hey, get the at the money one. And by the time that you get even further into the money, it's going to be $5, $10, $15 at a time. And you can see wildly substantial gains because of that. Because the delta is not per strike price, it's per dollar movement. Don't let that one go over your heads, y'all. Pep. Again, we have the April 19th. 175 is what I'm suggesting. Now, again, this is also going to be an at the money contract. We're dealing with the exact same thing that we just talked about, $5 intervals in the strikes, 42 for the potential delta, as opposed to getting the 90 where it's 11. That is why it's so important to know your Greeks, because by knowing your Greeks, you understand it's advantageous to go out of the money for this one, and it's advantageous to be at the money for this one, or in the money even sometimes. Yeah. So great. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit more. This one's got a big range in it. Excuse me. So, of course, some of these highs are very obvious, but we're going to zoom into the weekly to get a little bit more nuance into what's going on here, because it wasn't just straight steps, right? We saw that it wasn't just clear steps. Like, hey, it just went straight down or just went straight up and created candle bars that are easy to take steps on. This one did not do that. So by going into the weekly, we can see our first PT is going to be here, where all this price action ran through. Week after week, boop, boop, 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, it all went through this price. So when we get to this high right here, we're going to make a decision. If we decide to break above it, we'll come and test the top of this one. Now, important to note that in between these two, we have this where it came down low and it stopped and then it went back up. So there could be a potential fight between this, fighting for this algorithm in which way it wants to go. Does it want to stay down here, or does it want to reclaim this territory all over again? If we break to the top, we're already reclaiming the territory in which we can go and see us test the top of this one, not here, but right here, because all of this candle, 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 all chops through it. So right here is going to be where that algorithm gets tested. If we break through that, then we'll test the top of this one. Bonus points if you've already noticed it's the same spot of the top of this too. So we have double touching this exact same price. If we break past that, we'll test the top of the quarter for that failed too. All right. Now, did we already do this? Yes, we did. Great. Fantastic. So, with that being said, we're done with yearlies and we're done with quarterlies. Give yourself a hand if you've made it this far. I know this is a long video. Hey, I appreciate being here with you right now. If you have any questions during this, write them down, throw them in the student section afterwards. If there's anything that I missed getting to, I'm happy to help you out with it. All right, let's keep it going. Monthlies. Let me take a look at my notes and see which one the monthlies start with. Apple. So Apple's right here. Boom. Now, Apple just had a doozy of a year. Crazy outside year on it. All right. We're looking a little exhausted though on this month. Now, this isn't a failed two, but how many times have I put things that are not failed candles on a watch list and they just obliterate every price target? It's because of exhaustion, right? Sometimes they don't end up being failed twos, but the wicks tell the story. And the wick is telling the story right in here, where we came up and then we said, nope, I'm done. Coming right back down. And you've seen me do this before, but I'll show you again. If the buyers took it from the low to where it closed, then they have control of this in the candle, okay? This is the buyer's control. If the sellers, however, took it from the high to the close, then the sellers are here. Who has more control of this candle? The sellers do, right? So it doesn't always have to be a failed two for us to be able to know this puppy wants to come down, right? For the month. If it breaks entry, that's a long way to go. Let's go ahead and start checking out where PTs could be coming from. We're going to zoom into the weekly and see here and here for very obvious ones. And even right here as well, where it's, remember what I said, when we get to the lows or the highs, we start seeing price action kind of chop through things. This is going to be where that first stop is before the bottom, but we got to zoom in even more to see what's in between for the range. And when we zoom in even more, what do we see? The steps, the classic steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. If we are in calls, where are our stops? Right here, right here, right here, and right here. Very simple. That sounded like a song, huh? Hmm. Mm-hmm. 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 Interesting. Hmm. I was grooving. All right. So Apple, AAPL. Now we're going to start getting to a little bit of normalcy for what many are used to when it comes to the decisions that I'm making on strikes, where we're looking at February 2nd, 185 for the put, which is going to pretty much be at the money at the time, versus getting it all the way out here at like 160, 170, 46 cents. The delta $6. Or we can get it at the money, $26. Now here, yeah, that's a $20 difference. Hey, Dylan, you said earlier the $20 difference is. I don't want a $6 delta. If the stock moves $1, I want to make some fucking money. I don't want $6. So I'm going to buy it at the money. And when it falls to that last PT, I will be so far in the money that I will be making a substantial fucking gain because the Greeks are on my side right away versus out here, not so much. Now, think about this. Your delta here, $6. Your theta, 3. So if it moves $1 that day, congratulations, you made $6. And immediately $3 is going to be taken away from you because you swung it overnight. Ouch. Too bad. Good luck with that monthly swing. Or you could get it at the money. $26 is what you're going to get if it moves $1 in your favor. $6 is your cost if it goes overnight. Well, that's not half the fucking thing I just made on the daily. Now, here's the kicker. You're like this. It's going to get smaller as you get further in the money. Your delta's going to get bigger. Your theta is going to get smaller as opposed to getting it out here. Let's see, the 169. So let's say I did the 170. My theta 3 goes to 4, goes to 5, goes to 6, goes to 6, gets to 6. It gets bigger as it's going in my favor, as opposed to getting smaller as it's going in my favor. So understanding the Greeks is going to be what helps you make a lot of money here. That is why I'm suggesting the 185. All right. Now, AR. Same thing, but reverse, meaning that last one was for puts, this one's for calls, where we can see a bullish pen bar here. If we do the same exact things, who has control of this candle, right? That's what I want to know. Who has control of this candle? Well, if the sellers took it from the high to the close, right, then they have control of this much. And if the buyers took it from the low to the close, then they have this much. And who can we tell has more control of this candle? Lay buyers. Lay buyers, brah. Right. So, with that being said, entry, final PT. Let's go ahead and zoom into the weeklies. And here, classic case of the steps. We love to see it. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Nothing super crazy with AR. Very easy trading plan to follow. Now, AR, I am suggesting. Oh my gosh, my R key. Remember when I said earlier my R key doesn't work sometimes? There it goes. AR, I am suggesting the $25 calls on, which is going to be an at the money contract. $49, 27 delta. We love it. As opposed to let's see, if we did the final PT 30, so 30 would be out here. Good luck making money with a $6 delta. And sure, When it's $11 and you add another $6 to it, big old percentage return, right? Huge percentage return. My God, if it gets 11, if you make $11 on that contract, you made 100% return on that. Wow. But let me ask you this. Do you pay your bills? Do you pay for things in life off of percentages, or do you pay for them off of dollar amounts, right? So dollar amount wise, I want to be making 20, 30, $50 per dollar movement, not six. And I don't care if it's a 40% return as opposed to a 100% return, because dollar amount, I'll make 4 times the amount. I'll make 4 times 400% more buying one of these contracts than I will buying one of these contracts. Okay. We already did the steps. We already did that. We already talked about that. We're good on that. Let's go ahead and move on to Disney. Disney. Love me some Disney, bruh. Now, I didn't put both sides on this. Because let's face it, Disney is just not doing great in the news right now. You know, writer's strike, shitty movies, firing directors, major superhero villains that they put all of their eggs in the baskets, getting removed from the casting because of weird lawsuits and shit like that. A lot of stuff going on. You look creepy just standing back there. You know that? Yeah, sit and eat your rice. You didn't finish it earlier. That one's rice. It is yellow rice. That's your spoon. Why don't you pick it up? Pick it up. Pick it up. And then sit down and eat it, baby. Take it to where you can sit down and eat it. Sure, you can come over here to the table. Come on. Okay. You gonna eat right next to me? Okay. Love you. What?
Yes.
Okay. Need some help?
Yes. Charge in the shop. Like this.
Come here. Here, take this. Go pour more water in there for yourself. You can do it. It's right there. You go try it. She's doing this thing where she's like, I can't do it, and things that she's fully capable of doing. So I just had to remind her that she could do it. Not, didn't do it over there. Okay. Okay. Disney. 212. Now, I didn't show this earlier, but let's see if I can catch it. No. There we go. Right. This has been going on for a while on a smaller time frame, where this is a big area that it likes to choose. And as we can see, we did not like being up here all over again. So that's why I'm not putting it on the call side, because I believe if we even come up and test this, sure, we'll break through it. We don't really have that much room to go to the upside without having to go really far back for price targets. So with just being present, this is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at. Oh crap, I just moved something. Okay. Disney, I'm looking at the $89 strike price right in here. Again, another thing of at the money, 39 delta, as opposed to being over here would be like the $86 delta. Guys, I'm not going to repeat the same thing over and over again, but the same exact thing stands. Delta, super tiny, not really growing a lot, versus delta being very, very mucho big and growing even more. Theta being really tiny, getting bigger and 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 bigger as you're swinging it, versus theta being bigger and getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller as you're swinging it. I said I wasn't going to repeat myself, and then I did, but hopefully it's like hammering a point home with y'all, and y'all are really understanding how important the Greeks are to pay attention to, especially when you're swinging things. Good job, honey. All right. Okay. So let's go into the weekly for Disney, start seeing where we can find some things, and boom, very classic case of steps right here, and right here. Obviously, that's the low of the month. The week just extended. Basically, the week started on Monday, but the month started on Wednesday, type of thing. Um, in between these, there's a hell of a lot of chop, right? In this area. This is where it's going to come test out. We're going to test it here, here, here. So all along here, bounce off of this to the upside, and all over here, it's bouncing off of it to the downside. So right in here is going to be a very, very major part. That's why that PT is kind of not really in the steps and being found all the way out here, but that is why I selected it. And the more you know. All right. So that's Disney. Now, Mo has literally a textbook 2-1 failed 2-2 reversal on it, right? So a 2-1 2-2 ref. Bang, bang, boom. This is what we're looking to see happen. These are my favorite actionable signals that are out there. I love them so much. Finish your rice. $40 is what I put for the strike price because I'm going to be buying this one right at the money, right in here. Boom. 60. Now, why? Why? Same thing as always, gang. The Greeks, $45 for the Greeks. If I was to go for the 38 out here, $15. So we're talking about $30 per dollar movement to me. Juice is worth the squeeze, spending $60 per contract on that. Theta, a penny. Thank you. Thank you. That's exactly what we like to see. Very excited, probably most excited for Mo. Please don't gap Mo. I just really like the potential that it has with that actionable signal and how often those play out super, super well. And if we can drop $2-3, then getting it here and going $2-3 in is going to be a very nice substantial gain. Now the spreads are big here, but I have showed you guys over and over and over again what to do in a situation like this when you're far in the money. The spreads are a little wide. I've sent you a video of making $400 extra on my contract just by adjusting the spreads in between to fill that gap. Good job, baby. Price targets. Let's go into the weekly. Some steps, right? Classic steps in here. Now it gets a little finicky in here. Right in here, I went to the daily. And instead of selecting it right here, I put it right here because my little trading experience tingling gut inside of me says that if we can break past this, then we're more than likely going to test this, not just this. I think that we'll test this. I really do. Price wise, we're talking about a few pennies, so it's not that big of a deal. You can absolutely mark 38.78 as a potential price target that it could hit. But then we're getting really nitty gritty and going for like 84 after that, 88. And so I just went ahead and said, look, if we break this, ignoring here, here, and here, we'll go test out this one. That's why that was the thought process behind it. And then, of course, that low of the final actionable signal right in there. All right, so that's Mo. Next, we got Walmart. Love me some Walmart trading. If you didn't know, it is one of my favorite tickers to trade. Classic failed 2 on it. Now we can see that we've been kind of in limbo in this area for the last few months, but it does typically like to push up. It likes to push up, right? It likes to push down from this area up here, and it likes to push up from this area here. So if we're gonna bounce in between these, at least we have some price targets to go to, right? So going into the weekly, first PT is going to be actually from right here, right? Where all of this comes through and test it. All of it makes a pit stop through here. If we make it through this, I believe that we'll test the top of this too, where all of this and all of this makes pit stops through it. And the top of this too, and then finally the high of that month is what we could reach out and test. right in here off of that failed too. Strike prices, I'm thinking 160, which is going to put you in the money by the time you hit PT1. And this is going to go on to the same things that we've talked about earlier. Well, let's say 170 was what I was looking at, a $7 delta or a $41 delta. Let me ask you, gang. The stock moves $1 in your favor. Do you want to make $7 or $41 for that move? Exactly. Does it cost more? Yes. Will you make more? Yes. What are we here for? To make more, be right. Make more. So that's why I'm suggesting the 160 right in here, which is still very cost efficient. 20 set spreads on it, lower that limit order down, send it through. That takes care of the monthlies. If you made it this far in the video, hey, I love you. I do. I love you. You're amazing. You're an incredible person. I hope that everybody around me becomes a shining star like you are, because you are incredible. Let's keep it going to the weeklies, starting with BAC, which I can see is right here. And hey, wouldn't you know, now we can get into some TOS save territory. I can save up to 9 tickers in this. So now we're in a point where, hey, I can save that bad boy. All right. Now, BAC does not have the greatest actionable signal on it, right? But we're looking at momentum right here, okay? And the momentum of this, the momentum is saying we're done going up, right? Look at how took off like a rocket ship. Didn't really have the energy to keep going. Tried and said, you know what? I don't really have the energy to keep going. Now, this could be because of a couple of different things. It could be because of the holiday week, the short week that it was, and just didn't have the volume to really push it up. But if I was to do the same thing with the rectangles that I've done on every other candle, who has more control of this candle? It's about 50-50, but the sellers have a little bit more control. With that little bit more control, it's enough that we might need to be able to see it topple down and come back and retest these things. Now here, I don't think it's going to hit in 1 week. Could I be wrong? I hope so. And I hope I'm in the contracts while I'm wrong in what I just said, and then I'm right about the entire play that I have drawn up. Entry PTs for a 2-1-2-2 rev. Now, Back's suggestion is the 33. Now, guys, going forward, all of these contracts are going to be at the money contracts. I don't feel like I need to say for every contract going on in this video that it's because of the Greeks. It's because of the Greeks, okay? And it's always going to come down to theta, delta. When you're far out of the money, your theta is getting bigger and bigger and bigger every day until you get in the money. When you're at the money, your theta gets smaller and smaller and smaller every day as you continue in the money. Your delta is so tiny that you don't make very much when you go super far out of the money on some plays like this. And being at the money, you'll make a substantial amount difference in profit. Percentage wise, you'll still make great percentage gains, but you'll make a whole lot more money profit wise. 33 is a suggestion. 68, 64. This is great. 37 delta, fantastic. Theta, $1. Why am I looking at the second? I don't know. I just realized that right now. So let me go look at the correct one, which would be the 12th. Let me get rid of the all because I no longer need the all. 33. It's basically the same thing, okay? 43. What was it? It was like 34, and now it's 43. And now the delta's 34. We love it. We love it. We love it. Basically, if this thing moves $1, you're pretty much going to get 100% return on this. Being at the money. Hallelujah. Let's go ahead and go to the daily. Did we already do the PTs on this one? No, we did not. We did not. So, PTs, right in here and right in here, obviously. The bottom, I went down to the hour for this one, if I'm not mistaken. I went down to the hour to see these two candles right in here to get these pivots off of them because that's where I think that they could pivot from. Yes, yes, you could consider the top of this candle right in here a PT as well. I just didn't, right? And it's not that it's wrong. It's just that sometimes I already have a lot of price targets and I don't feel the need to add on every single one. This would already be over 2 in. If we're filling the gap, you're making a lot of money already. You're good. You'll see this. You guys have it 32.13. Once that gap is filled, pay attention and see what happens. Okay. Let's see what happens. All right. After this coin on the weekly, coin coming back off of being on the yearly watch list as well. Now we're looking at January 12th contracts for it. But 167.50 is what I'm suggesting. Now, hey, coin is just expensive now. It didn't used to be, but look at the yearly. Look at what happened. It wasn't expensive when it was all the way down here, 30 bucks a contract at the beginning of 2022, but now it's $187 a contract. And it is showing that. It's showing that in these contract prices. And remember, these contracts were written far out, super far out, right? And basically, if you had done like a fucking, if it was $30 and you were like, I'm gonna get the 187, whatever, it might have cost you a lot of money at the time, but look at how much it's still worth now because it's made that humongous move up. Oh my gosh, over $100. It's insanity. Insanity, insanity, insanity. But the weekly looks like it wants to do a little correction back down to the downside, don't it? Right in there with that failed too. So, with that being said, if this isn't your cup of tea, no worries. This is the strike price that I suggest, though. All right, now let's go to the daily to find some PTs real quick. All right. So, classic case of steps here. Just like we've talked about, bang, boop, beep, bop, bop. These are exactly where people are going to have their price, or excuse me, their stop losses if they are in calls. When they come through his, two things are going to have to be decided: liquidate their positions or double up and keep their positions strong and push it back to the upside. Either way, we know exactly where we're potentially going to be heading to. With that being said, let's go ahead and go to Google. This nice fail to right in here. Now, Google, I am suggesting the 138 on, right? Google doesn't look so pissed off. I like the spreads on it. Love the delta. Love everything about it. 138 is where I'm suggesting. Going to the daily time frame for this, classic case of steps. Big. Can't ignore it. It's so close. At least it's over 70 cents away. We'll make some money by the time we get to PT1. After this, yes, there's a little gap. So you could have like a little extracurricular PT right in there. I am from the hood, so I'm hearing these fireworks and I'm like, yeah, I hear. And I'm like, is that a gunshot? And then I hear the laughter and joy. Yeah, it's outside. It's outside. Go look. Sorry. If you didn't hear it, there was a bunch of fireworks that started going off. And the first two, I was like, is that a gunshot? It was not. I live in a nice neighborhood now. Anyways, bang, right in here. After we reach this, then we're gonna come test this. These all had trouble getting up here, so I think that right in here is gonna be the area that it's like, hey, we're gonna keep it from going down into this. Is basically what they're gonna have to make the decision on. If they don't, then we're gonna come test the bottom of that right in there for that nice little weekly gain, and you'll make some really nice money. Plus, this is literally a textbook fail too. Broke the top, immediately rejected, came back down, bouncing off of this right here. These broadening information. Come on now, come on. It's got everything lined up for it. Very excited for Google. Google, don't do me wrong, please. I will start using Bing so fast. All right, and Meta. Now, Meta, a beautiful fail too. Now, this is a beautiful fail too. Broke, rejected, staying underneath these trends or broadening formations, whatever you want to call it. Entry, final PT. We're going to zoom in to the daily to see another classic case of the steps here, here, and here. We're obviously, if we're in calls, this is where we're going to have some stop losses. There is a 2022 high of the year here. Not putting that as a stop loss, though. There, little Easter egg for you, though. You can mark out 304309 for 2022's high of the year. Then we're going to scoot right on over here because there's a humongous gap in between these two things. So I went to the hour and I wanted to see where that was coming from. And as we can see right in here, there's a wall, right? Right here, we can't go to the downside right off of this. Then we finally do, and then we can't go back up above it. That's where it's coming from. Right here, that algorithm right there. That's where we're going to go test on that breakdown for Meta. Now, Meta strike price suggestion is $350. Now, expensive, but manageable. Manageable for probably a lot of you. And you could always go farther out of the money, but I just like the Greeks more here. If you were to do like the 342, 24 delta is not that bad. However, you cannot swing this shit, as comfortably, being as that the delta is 24 and the theta is 25. So you want a bigger delta than you have a theta. If your theta is bigger than your delta, you're never going to make any fucking money on it. It's going to move $1 and then overnight you're going to lose all of it plus a little bit more. All right, unmute myself. So yeah, be aware of the Greeks. Be aware of the Greeks. I want my theta to be getting smaller as I'm swinging it, not getting bigger, especially on something like this. And I do not want my theta to be bigger than my delta. That does not make any sense. And we did do, yes, we did do. Okay. Meta. Oh, that's it for the weeklies. Okay. Wow. On to the dailies. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for, hey, you made it this far. You're going to have a great year. I promise you, you're going to have a great year. Great year. AMD. Look at this beauty. Look at this beauty right here. Huh? Look at this beauty. We love it. We love it. We love it. Going into the 30 minutos. First time I've said that in 2024. Pretty cool. We're going to see we have a PT here and here. Pretty easy to see, but we got something going on in this. So I went to the 5 minute because I want to see, hey, what's going on in there? It seemed like something, and I need to zoom in to be able to see. And sure enough, wouldn't you know it, a bunch of choppiness through this area. So we're probably going to test out here. If we can break that, we'll test out this one, which this two triggered a little late on that algorithm before bouncing back up. And then if we break it through that, then yeah, we'll go and we'll test out these previous ones over here that were mentioned. Bang. Boom. And the reason why I'm extending it is because A and B has the range to be able to go this far and take out this extra PT. Well, what do I mean by that? It moves $3.85 on average. Start here and move $3.85. It'd be going, oh, well, shit, it'd be going all the way to here. So it's got plenty of room to run through these PTs, plus even a little bit more, to be quite frank. AMD, bam. AMD 147 on the 5th, 147. So 231, 47 Delta. Huh. Yes, please. Yes, please. We like that. We like that a lot. Then if we drop $4 and we get in here, oh my God, we're gonna make so much fucking money. My God, we're gonna make so much money. We are gonna make so much money. Notice that. Together, my friends. Together, my friends. Failed 2 on BBY's daily. Now, if you remember the quarterly that we're looking at, I was like, hey, there's a daily play here. And as well, hey, congratulations. You made it to the end of the movie where we get to pay off on that little foreshadowing that we got earlier in it. And 78 is exactly the entry and exactly where I would suggest to buy your contract. And if we drop down to the 77.19, you'll make a nice little bit of chunk of change there. 45 delta as opposed to 29 by getting to 77. So huge difference there. And these are not meant to be swung, so you don't really need to worry about the theta as much. My gosh, that's never gonna not make me kind of jump inside, I don't think. Sorry if you hear the fireworks. They sound like gunshots to you too in the middle of this video. I swear I live in a nice neighborhood. They are fireworks. Those are my gunshots. I can hear like the fizzling, the crackle, and then the family laughter afterwards, which none of that happens after gunshots. Um, Sorry. 22 rev on HD can sometimes be a little wonky with spreads in the morning, so please pay attention to it. However, if they're not, this is something that pays off very, very well and has the range to continue up to here. Ooh, that was a big boom. Now, suggesting 347.50 for this. Spreads are great here. Of course, use the limit trick that I show. 46 delta. We love this because this has the ability to move a couple of dollars this day. So you're going to make a lot of money per contract if it does. And we'll see a nice percentage gain along with that. So you get the best of both worlds. Hey, don't scream. Pretend they're zombies. We don't want the zombies to know where we're at. Okay. Now, HD, let's go ahead and go into the 30-minute time frame. Bam. Early PT right in here. Can't ignore it. All day we came up here and we got right here and then we stopped when we crashed. So just can't ignore that. There's a pivot point right here. There is an algorithm that we could test out. Before you reach the top of here, look at all of this chopping through. All of this chopping through. It's disgusting. And it's all going to come right off here. Oh, this one. This one right here is what's showing us where the algorithm's at. That one right there. If we can make it past that, then we'll test the top of that 3 and the top of this 3, which could be found as the high of the days on these 2 candles. With that being said, a reminder, if it triggers early in the morning, please pay attention to the spreads. Spreads on HD can be very hit or miss when it comes to the morning time. Okay. During the day, should be fine. But in that morning time, pay attention to the spreads. Nike failed 2, 322 ref forming, 108 for the puts. Love this price. Love this delta. Love the theta, even though the theta doesn't matter. It's just that this is exactly what we want our things to look like. Look, if it moves $1 in our favor, we get $41 added to our contracts, and our gamma gets $16 added on to its delta. Huge, as opposed to, let's say we bought the 106 and it's $17 that we'll make instead of 41. $17 as opposed to 41, and we'll have $9 added on as opposed to $16 added on. So definitely suggest the 108. You'll be in the money by the time you hit PT1. You'll be nice and good to go. When it comes to price targets, classic case of some beginning steps here. Now there is an early PT right in here. I didn't put it. Okay. I didn't put it. But in my heart of hearts, I think that we'll get past that. And you know what? If we don't, I get to put a big old red circle on my recap. All right. I think we'll come here. All this choppiness in here, right off the bottom of this one. Look at how this wicks off of it. This wicks off of it. This broke it, tested it, tested it, tested it, tested it, finally broke it again. So right in here is definitely going to be where that algorithm is. And then, of course, we'll go and we'll test it all the way down here. I think as far as range goes, I do think that we have the ability to test this out as well when it comes to this play. This is not this technically, as far as the actionable signal, is the final PT, but I think that we could even come and test this one out if we drop, if we drop, if we drop. And Nike, that's that. That's that. That's four. That's four. That's four. That's done. That's done. Okay. So congratulations, everybody. We made it through yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily watch list today. This is a huge video. If there's anything extra that you want me to add to these videos when I'm talking about things, please let me know in the student section. I am here for you. I make these guys for you. So anything that I can do to improve them, I'm all ears. I am not wearing a mankini though in them, and that's the end of it. So no more asking me for that. I love you all a lot. Let's have a fantastic 2024 and set ourselves up to not only change our lives off of trading, but to trade our families' lives as well. I love you. God bless. I'll talk to you soon, and I'll see you on the other side.